talk about things that mainstream TV wouldn't touch. Um, that takes guts. It takes consistency. Um, and as a fellow South African, I respect that hustle. Um, they are the success stories of our digital era. But there's the thing, success comes with a platform. Um, and a platform is like a sandbox. When you build a beautiful sand block and box, people want to come and play in it. But lately I've been looking at that sandbox and it's getting, shall I say, messy. And I'm not talking about the messy drama that gets clicks. I'm not talking about the politicians that give us so many firepower moments. I'm talking about a lack of basic respect for the very people who built those sandboxes, the audience. Specifically, and please don't take it from a overly girl power girl, I'm a normal girl power girl, the woman in that audience. Today I want to have an honest talk about the state of our digital home, the South African podcasting and social media landscape. We're celebrating the digital revolution. So let's start with what's going right. We've seen an incredible explosion of independent creators in this country, from high production interviews to deep dives into our history and politics. And South Africans have proven we don't need big TV networks to tell our stories. I've massive respect for the hustle. I mean, building a platform with hundreds of thousands of followers is a feat of note. And it's entrepreneurship that deserves to be celebrated. These creators have disrupted the status quo, and they've shown us that the man on the street has a voice that matters. Getting back to the sandbox metaphor and the respect gap. With that great power comes a sandbox that many of us are playing in together. And as a frequent visitor to that sandbox, I'm starting to notice a mess that we can't ignore anymore, or at least me. I need to point this out, and hopefully you take it from a wise old lady and take it with respect. I'm talking about the growing trend of derogatory behavior, specifically towards women. Too often in the middle of what could be a brilliant discussion, the tone shifts. We start hearing crude jokes, graphic descriptions of private body parts, and language that demeans women as a whole. And when anyone calls it out, the response is usually, if you don't like it, leave it. Now, I'm not one of those that's ever been told that if you don't like it, leave it, because I never comment. I visit many sites and listen to many podcasts and watch many videos and live streams, and I never comment. I'm way too shy for that, and I am not willing to get into all the altercations that usually follow from an innocent word spoken. It's a very arrogant stance to take when your audience, who's your bread and butter, includes women of all ages. Now, these women who are subscribing and watching the ads and keeping these channels afloat, why is it that in a professional digital space we've abandoned the basic respect we would show to people in our actual living rooms? Um, it's the definition of male arrogance in this space that's getting to me. But let's look at the numbers, okay? Women of all ages are a huge part of the bread and butter that keeps the channels alive. We're the subscribers, we're the ones clicking the links, and we are the ones that the advertisers are trying to reach. So why is it that in the middle of an incredible interview or political breakdown, the conversation suddenly shifts to derogatory remarks about women? Why are we hearing dirty talk or the graphic mention of body parts that should stay private? It's not about being stuck up, it's about a basic standard of normal behavior. So if you invited a guest into your home, you would, I mean, let me say it this way, would you start describing private body parts or demeaning half the population while your sisters and mothers are sitting right there with you in the lounge? No, you'd be normal and respectful. But somehow, behind a microphone, this normal, it's been replaced by antics designed to stir the pot. And, that's the engagement trap. And I think a lot of the people are stepping into that. We need to be honest about why this happens. It's not just being real or locker room talk. It's a business model, controversy, infamy, pot stirring. It's the fastest ways to trigger the algorithms. And a nasty comment gets clipped and it goes viral on Facebook and X and TikTok and wherever else. And the view counts go up. But there's a difference between being famous and being influential. Let's understand that. When a creator chooses to shit in their own sandbox just for the sake of a viral clip, they are trading long-term respect for short-term clicks. They assume we are so indoctrinated by their fame that we literally won't notice how nasty the content has become. They think we just laugh along. Excuse me. But for many of us, it's leaving a bad taste in our mouths. They're choosing infamy over influence, guys. And they think we don't notice the difference. They think we're so indoctrinated by their fame that we'll just say, oh, that's just how he is, or it's just a joke. But it's not just a joke. When it becomes a pattern, when you keep shitting in your own sandbox, eventually no one wants to play there anymore. It leaves a bad taste in the mouth, and it makes the entire industry look amateurish when it should be looking world class. So a challenge to the public would be, from me personally and in my own personal view, it brings me to us, the viewers. We are the ones feeding this behavior. We are the ones who allow these antics to flourish by giving them our time. Imagine if the next time a creator decided to use their platform to degrade women, or their live stream audience dropped to less than 10 people at that point. As and when it happens, just drop out. It would be a powerful signal that South Africans want world-class content, not low-class insults. We need to be more selective about what we allow to be placed in our thoughts. Just because someone is a good analyst or a funny host doesn't mean we should give them a free pass to be disrespectful. We need to stop rewarding the nasty and start demanding the normal. Going forward, from my viewpoint, personal viewpoint, and yes, the standard for a new era would be, yes, I'm a girl power girl. I don't believe you have to be crude to be real. You don't have to be derogatory to be authentic. To all the creators out there, you've already proven you are successful. Congratulations. Now prove that you can be leaders. You don't need the antics. You don't need the tropes. Respecting your female audience isn't being stuck up, it's being professional. And to my fellow viewers, let's hold the remote a little tighter. Let's support the creators who build us up and leave the ones who want to keep the sandbox messy behind. We deserve a digital space that we can be proud of. Thanks for listening, and let's keep this conversation going in the comments. Please remember to keep it respectful, and please keep it real and honest. Thanks for listening.